Dear students, once again I am before you after a brief gap. So today I start another important lesson in 10th class social studies, that is National Freedom Movement of India, Partition and Independence. Before going into that lesson, I want to tell you that this lesson is not only important for 10th class students, it is important for all the Indians. Each and every Indian should know how we got independence. At first, the Europeans entered into India after the discovery of sea route to India by the Portuguese sailor Vasco da Gama in the year 1498 AD. So after the discovery of sea route, all the Europeans started to enter into India for the purpose of trade. At first, the Portuguese people came to India, followed by the Dutch, the French, and last the Britishers. Among these four Europeans, rivalry developed with regard to the trade, and slowly and steadily, Britishers got upper hand over all these Europeans, and they gained the political power of our country in the year 1757 after the Battle of Plassey. See, the main purpose of the Britishers was to make trade. So English East India Company came to India in the year 1600 AD. And slowly and steadily, they got good support from some of the native rulers, and they maintained very good relationship with them. And they created enmity among the Indians, and they were successful in getting the political rights of our country in the year 1757 after the Battle of Plassey under the leadership of Robert Clive. So ever since the Britishers got the political rights of our country, the Indians were completely exploited. Indian resources were completely exploited. If you want to say in another words, Indian people were treated like slaves. Indian natural resources were completely exploited, and Indian farmers were also being exploited. Totally, the Indian economy was exploited for the better advantage of the Britishers. So ever since the Britishers got political rights of our country in the year 1757, in one place or the other place, revolutions were started against the Britishers every year in one place or the other. But the Britishers could easily suppress those revolutions. At last, a great revolution was started in the year 1857 under the leadership of Jhansi Lakshmi Bai, well supported by Nana Sahib and Tantia Tope in the year 1857 at Meerut on 10th May. So this revolution was mainly concentrated in northern part of our country. So due to lack of unity among the Indians, due to not having sophisticated war materials with us, the Indian freedom struggle in the year 1857 was totally suppressed by the Britishers. We call it as the first war of Indian independence, whereas the Britishers called it as Sipai Mutiny. If you see the Hindi film Manikarnika, you will come to know the role played by Jhansi Lakshmi Bai, which was well portrayed by Kangana Ranaut in that movie, Jhansi Lakshmi Bai. So, as a result of 1857 revolution, the power of East India Company was abolished, and the British Crown took direct administration of our country. Then, this 1857 revolution, though it was a failure, it created awareness in the minds of the people of Indians that if the Indians are united and if they lead a massive movement against the Britishers, then the Britishers can be easily evacuated from India. So this led to the formation of Indian National Congress in the year 1885. The main person responsible for the starting of this Indian National Congress was A.O. Hume, the British retired IAS officer. The president of the Indian National Congress was W.C. Banerjee. Under the leadership of the Indian National Congress, our freedom movement was classified mainly under three categories. We can call it as three phases. Indian freedom movement started from 1885 and it was classified into three parts or three phases. The first phase was called as the moderate phase from 1885 to 1905. The second phase was extremist phase from 1905 to 1919. And the third phase is the Gandhian era from 1919 till we got independence. The main movement that was started during the period of extremists was the Vande Matra movement, which was started in Bengal due to partition of Bengal. And later on, under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi, non-cooperation movement was started. Salt Satyagraha or civil disobedience movement was started. And lastly, Quit India movement was started. And finally, United India got independence on 15th August 1947. So this is a brief sketch about how India got independence. It's only a small glance for you before I go to the 10th class main topic. That is freedom movement of India, partition and independence from 1935 to 1947. So after 1935, lot of changes had been taken place in our country. After the end of 3 roundtable conferences, the British government has decided that they wanted to pass an act called as Government of India Act of 1935. So according to this act, provincial autonomy to the provinces is given. So because of this, elections were held to the assemblies or provinces. So during that period, only 12 to 14% of Indian population were having the right to vote. So out of 11 provinces, 8 provinces were won by the Indian National Congress and they became the prime ministers. Afterwards, during 1939, the Second World War broke out. Now, the differences were started among the Indian National Congress members that few were in favor of participating in the war to help the Britishers and few were against that. Why? Because that was the main time to start another mass revolution against the Britishers so that India could gain independence. So differences of opinion were started. And by the time, Winston Churchill was the Prime Minister of England. He belonged to Conservative Party. He was not having an idea of granting independence soon to India. He wanted to continue India as a colony for some more time. But his opponents, that is Labour Party, was in favor of granting independence to India. So during such phase, number of revolutions were started in India against the Britishers. The Britishers were not happy whenever any revolution was started against them. They started suppressing it. And they decided that in order to reduce the growth of nationalism among the Indians, they decided that it would be better for them to adopt a policy called as divide and rule. So they wanted to divide the society of India to Hindus and Muslims. So they advocated that Muslims are in minority and there is no security for a minority in this country where majority of the people are Hindus. So they wanted to adopt this divide and rule policy. So this gave a little bit boost to the Muslim League Party leader, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, to strengthen his party so that he could expect some sort of help even from the Britishers to get independence for his country. Now let us know what is the role of Muslim League. Muslim League Party was established in the year 1906. Muslim League Party's main aim is to promote the interests of the Muslims. In the initial stages, till 1935, that party was having background only in Uttar Pradesh. And they were having little bit vote bank even in Uttar Pradesh and little bit areas besides Uttar Pradesh. Whereas in all the other places, it was not having that much of a favorism. Till 1935, only 4.4% of the Muslim minorities helped the Muslim League Party to win in the small assembly elections. Whereas the trend has been completely changed from 1935 to 1945. Or we can call it from 1936 to 1946. There was a tremendous change in the strengthening of this Muslim League Party, mainly because of the arrests of majority of the Indian National Congress leaders. See, before that, Salt Satyagraha was started and many Indians were kept in jail. And later on, Quit India movement was started and many Indian leaders were kept in jail. So taking it as an opportunity, the Muslim League leaders started strengthening the party from the base and they got maximum support from different areas. Earlier, they were not having good support even from Bengal, Punjab and the Northwest Frontier province also. But slowly they started to gain the vote bank even in these areas of Punjab, Bengal, Sindh, Northwest Frontier province, NWFP, Northwest Frontier province. So like that, slowly and steadily, Muslim League gained strength and they started demanding a separate state for the Muslims so that they will be secured from the majority of the Hindus. So that was the stage set for the Muslims or the Muslim League to put their demand before the Britishers that their rights have to be protected from Hindus. So coming to the against this Muslim League, in India, Hindu Mahajana Sabha and RSS, Rashtriya Swayam Sevak Sangh, these two organizations were established and they started creating awareness among all the Hindus that India is only for Hindus. So like that, they created Hinduism. India is meant for Hindus. So such an attitude has been taken up by Hindu Mahajan Sabha as well as RSS. Whereas Indian National Congress wanted to spread the idea of secularism, giving importance both for Hindus as well as Muslims. In one of my earlier videos, I have told you that secularism is nothing but religion and religious considerations should not enter into the functioning of the state. So the Indian National Congress Party wanted to have a secular state, whereas Muslim League wanted to have a Muslim state, and Hindu Mahajana Sabha as well as RSS are giving importance only for the Hindus. So in this way, each and every party was putting their own demands. Then coming to the real strength for Muslim League. See, one of the eminent Muslim poet or Urdu poet, Muhammad Iqbal, has written Sare Jahan se acha Hindustan hamara. When he was made as the president of Muslim League, in his address, he stated that a separate northwestern Muslim state should be created to protect the interests of Muslims. This gave an idea to a university student called as Chaudhary Rahmat Ali to coin the term called as Pakistan. Pakistan, Pakistan, we can call it as. P means Punjab, A means Afghan, S means Sindh, and then Balochistan. So this Pakistan term was coined by Chaudhary Rahmat Ali, who was a university student. In the initial stages, this was not given much importance by the Muslim League, and later on, this helped them to create awareness in the minds of the people in all these provinces that if a separate state only for Muslims is established, then Muslims can lead a better life when by having the company of the Hindus in India. So they started creating an awareness in the minds of the Muslims that the farmers and agriculturists and the cultivators of Muslims, they will be free from the zamindars and the money lenders who will exploit from India. That is the first thing. Second thing is they would be free from the trade, the business, as well as job seekers from India. So more and more number of Muslims can get employment opportunities. And the third one is the Muslim elite. Elite means class people will be getting an opportunity to rule, where more and more freedom will be given for Muslims. These are the three main things that had been taken up by the people of Muslims in all these areas. So like that, their base was fully strengthened now. So during that period, in the year 1942, in our country, in order to reduce the growing discontentment among the Indians, the then British Prime Minister Winston Churchill sent a commission in the name of Sir Stafford Cripps. We call it as Cripps Mission. It came to India in the year 1942. Talks were held between the Congress leaders and the Cripps Mission, but the talks did not succeed. So our people decided to launch Quit India movement, which is a mass movement that took place in the month of August in the year 1942. This is very, very important aspect, right, about Quit India movement. Quit India movement was started in the month of August in the year 1942. It was a mass movement that was started under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi. So in this movement, all the sections of the society participated. Police stations, post offices, railway stations were attacked. Attempts were made to derail the trains. Farmers were asked not to pay any taxes to the government. And the boycott of foreign goods and foreign cloth has been organized. In so many places, the foreign cloth has been burnt. And a lot of physical damage has also been done to the assets of the Britishers. And when this movement was in full swing, during that period, Gandhiji gave a slogan called as "Do or Die." Do means you have to achieve independence. Die means to sacrifice your life for the sake of getting independence. So this slogan really inspired the freedom fighters during those days to sacrifice their life. So in this way, This movement continued nearly for a period of more than 6 months in different parts of our country. Ultimately, it was also suppressed, and majority of the Indian Congress leaders were kept in jails during 1942. At that time, taking it as an opportunity, Subhash Chandra Bose, he went to Germany and then he went to Japan, and he had a very good relationship with the Japanese authorities. And at that time, Japan defeated the British during the Second World War was in progress, and the British Indian Army members, POW, we call them as prisoners of war. They were kept by Japan. So there were around 40,000. All those 40,000 prisoners of war given under the control of Subhash Chandra Bose. With those 40,000 members, Indian National Army was established by Subhash Chandra Bose. So when all our major Indian National Congress leaders were in jail, the dying spirit of the Indians were once again revived with the movement that was started by Subhash Chandra Bose. So this Indian National Army started to revolt against the Britishers. So when Japan surrendered during 1945, at that time, when Subhash Chandra Bose was going towards Japan in a plane, due to plane crash, he was killed in that plane crash. And even today also it was a mystery. So generally, because of that, once again, all the prisoners of war were taken by the British Army. And the British Army, after capturing all those freedom fighters of Indian National Army, then they wanted to make a trial charges against all those 40,000. Then due to the heavy pressure from the Indians in different parts of our country, then they stopped that trial charges against the 40,000 freedom fighters, and thereafterwards they were freed. So friends and dear students, so today I am stopping this topic here, and the rest of the topic will be continued in my next video. So once again, I am telling you to subscribe my channel and listen to these videos. And it is not important only for 10th class students, and it is important for each and every Indian citizen. Thank you.